The last section in the evaluation is report writing. So when you look at that section, there are 3 subsections as part of this. So let's look at using report templates. First piece here is about starting a new evaluation report. So once you have consent for an evaluation, you're going to want to go into SpEd forms and start a new evaluation report. Before you do so, you're going to want to make sure that no one else on the team has already started a report template or started typing in their stuff. And then also verify that the previous report was finalized. Once you've confirmed those 2 things, then we're going to open an evaluation report. So I'm going to click into SpEd forms. I'm going to open the evaluation for FAKE. I'm going to see here that this report has already been finalized for this date. So I know that this report is finalized. I also know that I checked with my other team members and no one else has typed information in for the new report, so I know that it's safe to choose a new evaluation template. I'm going to choose a new evaluation template. It's going to warn you to make sure that you're accurate, so in case you accidentally press that button, I'm sure. I'm going to choose a local template, so we're going to say FAKE is a secondary student and it's EBD. I'm sure that I want to overwrite this because I know that last one is finalized. And then I'm going to choose that here. Going back to CMR. So I have the new evaluation report is selected. The report then preloads a bunch of assessments that are already used typically for that category, and we can go in and change the templates as needed. So for this one, removing report section. So here you can delete out pieces that are not being evaluated for this student. So for FAKE, if I go into sources of information, and again, use that insert from forms button, so I'm going to clear out this blue text, insert from forms, and insert the evaluation materials, I can see here that we are doing background, academic achievement, social, emotional, behavioral, and post-secondary transition. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to go back to the eval report. And then I'm going to clear out the areas that I know we're not doing. We're not doing anything in intellectual, so I can delete that section. We're not doing anything in health physical. We're not doing anything in adaptive or communication, motor skills, or sensory. So you can delete out those sections that are not needed. Next part on here is then adding assessments or disability categories. So if you were looking at multiple categories for a student, or if there were different assessments you needed to add, you can do that in each of the sections. So if I'm looking here under academic achievement, first of all, I'm going to save because I didn't save after those deletions. So academic achievement, I know that we are reviewing curriculum-based measurements, and I also know that we are going to review progress. We were not going to give the Woodcock-Johnson test of achievement. So I'm going to delete that section out because I know we're not doing that, but I do know that we're going to review that piece. So I'm going to insert a local test, and I'm going to choose multi-area, and then it is this review of progress and present levels of performance. Because we had said on the eval plan that we were reviewing the students' progress on their reading and math goals. So I'm going to say here in reading, and then I'm just going to copy this exact same thing, copy all of it, and paste it down below again, and do that for math, because he has a reading goal and a math goal. You'll see that these sections are the same as a PLAF. So the goal here is that you would write it in the eval report, and then you're just going to copy and paste that into the IEP when you hold FAKE's IEP meeting, because it's all written here as it would be in his IEP. Then looking up above here too in the CBMs, you would just delete any that are not applicable. So a lot of these are things from really early on elementary school where FAKE is a secondary student. So I'm going to clear out all of these early tools so that we are just getting to the ones that we know that we're giving. So I know that we gave an oral reading fluency, so I'm going to clear out everything up until then. Excuse me. Again, with early math, I know we didn't do anything with that, so I'm going to clear out those, and so on and so forth. Just clear out the ones that you didn't give. Excuse me. And then you're going to save when that section is done. Going back to the evaluation report, then you would just do the same in all of the sections. So under social emotional, you're going to go and delete out the things that you didn't need, and you can add in anything you do need. Reminder as well about the find and replace tool. So clicking on that little magnifying glass, typing in XXX, and then the student's name, hitting find, and then replace all will replace the student's name in all of those areas, so you don't have to retype their name a bunch of times. And then there's just a frequently asked question there of what to do. The other sections in evaluation and report writing talk about writing a review of progress and present level. So that's what we had just added in, where I said then you copy and paste it into your IEP. This talks about some different examples and what we do in this section. So I would pause the video here and you can read through this piece to see what means adequate progress, or what it would look like if the student is making adequate progress, and what you might write if the student is making inadequate progress. And then the last section of report writing is writing the summary page. So in the summary, we put that at the front, and we put that at the front intentionally, knowing that that's where the majority of the conversation should be going. Most of the team members, including parents, don't want to know all of the details of your observation and all of the details of your Woodcock-Johnson test of achievement and all of the little minor details. They want to know overall the summaries of each of the sections and what that means for their child's programming. And overall, we want to focus on that for the student as well. What does this eval mean in terms of actual programming day to day for the student? So the summary contains 3 different parts. It's the summary, which synthesizes information, the educational needs, and then any changes to programming that are needed. There are some different examples here in each of the sections, so you can look through what those examples are. And then looking at it in SpEd forms, here's what it looks like. So all of these pieces, remember the blue is there for you as prompts, and the yellow is there for reminders. So this is not an initial evaluation. So I'm going to delete out all of those sections for fake. I'm going to delete out this top blue text as well. And then here. So intellectual functioning, I know we didn't assess that for fake, so you can delete that. Academic achievement, that's where you're going to put in, filling in these little blue spaces with the educational, or the summary, educational needs, and any changes that are needed. Again, using CMR as an example, or using this as some examples of what this could look like for you. Once all of the report is done, you're saving it, you're checking with all of the team members. One piece that I like to do to kind of quick see where we're at with it is you can do a print preview. It'll open it in another window, and it opens the full report, so you can look to see, are there any sections that are not done yet, any sections that still have blue, any sections that still have yellow. And then you can either get those sections completed if you're responsible for them, or follow up with other team members if there are parts that are not done yet.